Hello, everybody. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. I'm here with my co-host operating in the background, Ms. Francine Gregory, our producer who has us everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, the works. And we're here because it's Thursday and it's time for Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. And Robin is not going to be with us today, but she has sent her friend, Lynniss Mullins, to talk to us all about healthy habits for 2020. So we are just excited because every time Lynniss comes, we learn something new. She has so many wonderful things going, and I hope that you'll subscribe to her magazine, which she'll tell us about later. But meanwhile, let's get this party started. How you doing, Lynniss?
I am fantastic. I am so excited about 2020. I'm about ready to burst. I've heard all kinds of different themes for 2020. Going to have plenty in 2020 or whatever. But I asked the women in my Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond group what their word was for the year. And it is amazing. In fact, I'm going to create a word cloud of what they said because it is just so awesome. This is the year for women. I particularly think it's a year for women over 40, over 50, over 60. And I think that one of the things we want to be thinking about to make it our year and to stay on top of our year is to stay healthy. So I have 10 tips for being healthy in 2020. And I might give a few bonus tips too, because they're all so good. And these tips are all part of my new Vibe Living mantra. Vibe Living is a new brand that really sponsors programs and classes and services all about vibe, living in the vibe. And vibe stands for being vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged. So all of us want to vibe. Okay, so these 10 healthy tips for 2020 actually are the 10 healthy vibe tips for 2020.
I love it.
Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to switch my screen here so I can read my notes. Okay, some of these things you probably already know, but maybe we do some of the time. But I'm saying that we need to probably do this every single day. Okay, work it into our regime. It's not that big of a deal. It takes a little bit of commitment. And now why it's the beginning of the year, we want to strike while the iron is hot because everybody is excited about doing something different. So let's get started. I'm advocating for Vibe Healthy tip number 1, that you wake up early. Now, some of you have to wake up early because you go to work, you have to be there at 8 o'clock. Some of you, though, may be retired or have your own business. You might wake up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. I'm advocating that you wake up an hour earlier than you normally do. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But it's important that you feel like you're kind of getting up on top of your day. And sometimes getting up earlier than everybody else in your house, if you happen to still live with people, children or a husband or a roommate or whatever, gives you that important self-care me time. So that's tip number 1, wake up early. Now, tip number 2, your vibe tip number 2 is relax or meditate daily. Now, I hear all the time, that's great, but I don't have time. I can't do it on a regular basis. There's too much going on. I can't quiet my mind. Well, that's where the waking up early comes in. If you wake up an hour early, maybe you can set aside some of that early time for meditation and relaxation. It can be 10 minutes, 5 minutes. What I recommend for people who really want to put more meditation into their lives, you might want to wake up that hour early and maybe spend some of that hour, 10 minutes in meditation, and maybe do 5 or 10 minutes in the afternoon and maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the evening. I subscribe to the 3 by 5 minute, 3 times a day, 5 minutes a day. I think is fantastic. It really can make a major difference in your life in terms of your focus, your concentration, and how you respond to the stressors of the day. I mean, the goal is to get kind of zen, stay calm, cool, and collected. And the reality is in midlife, we should be way beyond the hair on fire stage. You know how it was when we were in our 20s and 30s and everything was like, well, we don't have to be like that anymore. We've been there. We've done that. We have survived a lot. You have a frame of reference of experience. You know that this too shall pass, but it does help to stop, cool yourself down, and just be for at least 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day. The third, was that number 3?
Mm-hmm. We're going to number 3.
Okay, great. We're going into number 3. All right. It really helps to try to put in your schedule to eat at least one really healthy meal every day. Every day, one healthy meal. Because when you think about it, maybe some of your meals aren't so healthy, especially if you're working on changing your lifestyle and changing your eating habits and you haven't really ate healthy in a long time. Maybe your initial goal will be to eat one healthy meal a day. And I suggest that one healthy meal a day is also the most important meal of the day. And that's breakfast. And that's what goes into the getting up extra early. Sometimes if you get up extra early, you'll have more time to fix a healthy meal. Now, I'm not saying the traditional SAD breakfast, standard American diet breakfast, eggs and sausage and bacon and pancakes and juice. And I'm not saying all of that. I'm saying a healthy meal. A healthy meal could be, maybe eggs, maybe dry toast, or maybe you might want to have yogurt or oatmeal or a smoothie, but just one healthy meal a day. And that healthy meal does really give you energy that can sustain you throughout the day, especially if it's a healthy meal. When you're eating those heavy breakfasts, it does give you full, but it also kind of weighs you down, makes you feel sleepy. And also, if it's one of those standard American diet breakfasts, it's also loaded full of calories. The average standard American diet breakfast is close to 1,000 calories right off the bat. So if you are someone who's watching calories, trying to make a lifestyle change, want to have more healthier eating, make breakfast your healthiest meal of the day. My next tip, vibe tip for 2020 is, this sounds silly, but it really does work. Always smile at yourself when you look in the mirror.
Oh.
It takes so many more muscles to frown in your face than it does to smile. Smiling really gets those hormones going, those happy hormones going when you're smiling at yourself. If you're having problems smiling at yourself whenever you look in the mirror, play happy music in the background, read your favorite affirmations, watch a funny movie, listen to, if you have a Sirius radio or maybe you have Pandora, whatever, listen to jokes while you're working or whatever. But when you happen to glance in the mirror, smile. And that's a hard one for me because normally when I'm glancing in the mirror, I'm looking at what's not right. The hair is not right. My butt's too big. Got an extra layer of fat here. No, none of that. Smile at yourself because as many things you're concerned about that you feel you need to work on, there's just as many things that you should feel really good about. Okay. The next one is very important, especially if you're sitting a lot during the course of the day. And I find that I have to incorporate this in my regime. I work out pretty much, but I have to make sure I add stretching several times a day. You've got to stretch. If you're still working, or if you have an at-home business and you are, sitting in the computer all the time, you want to get up and stretch. Just, stretch your arms up, definitely stretch to the side, because what happens when you are sitting for long periods of time, your spine becomes compressed. Okay. You don't want to be like that. So you want to get up. I would say you don't want to sit longer than 40 minutes. And even if you get up for 5 minutes and stretch right next to your desk and then go back to work, that's fine. Make sure that you schedule some time to do this. If you don't have your appointments go back to back, if you are setting your own schedule, leave yourself some time to get up and stretch, get water, go outside, change it up a little bit. Just don't be sitting at your desk or your cubicle or in your home office for 8 hours a day with no breaks. And people think, well, a break is why I went out and I got the mail, I cooked breakfast, I get all of that. But I'm suggesting that you be intentional with this. I am going to get up and stretch in 5 more minutes. And I'm going to do this for 10 minutes. Okay. So make it a priority to stretch several times a day.
We have some comments over here. I don't know if you want to hold them. Okay. So Lakeisha was saying, let's go up here. Mike says, yes, meditation is a game changer. You do not realize how much until you're in it. And then Lakeisha was saying 3 to 5 minutes a day in regards to meditation. And
yeah, that'd be great if you can start that. Yeah, 3 to 5.
And then Mark is talking about food because she was saying eat at least one healthy meal a day.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, endive carrots, black beans, tomatoes, and a boiled egg as my breakfast is does he say unusual breakfast, but it gives me boost that I need. Oh, so that is what he's eating.
Yes,
okay.
I eat my salad in the morning. In fact, I started doing something new. I'll always have my green smoothies, but they're not always sweet. I take some tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes, and water, and spirulina, and spinach, and a little bit of amino acid liquid, and put it in with water and put it into my blender, and I drink that. It's not sweet, but it tastes really good. It's very fortifying. You're getting your greens in for the day. It gives you a certain amount of energy, and it's very, very, very low in calories. So you might want to drink your salad sometimes, or it's like making a tomato juice in your blender, basically, and adding the spirulina and the spinach. So that might be something else you might want to do for your morning breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Say what?
It sounds like a plan.
Yes. Now, here's something else you might want to do also. And this kind of goes more into the mindset in terms of having a vibe life. Buy a few home decor items from time to time to cheer up your space. Whether it's in your office, your bedroom, where you work, your prayer room, your kitchen, buy something that's going to make you want to smile, that reminds you of a special time or place, that, ushers in good feelings. Okay. We're going to have to work hard, I think, in 2020, or at least be very conscious about our thoughts and how we think, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't even have to go there. You already know what I'm talking about.
Please, we're not going to address it.
We're going to have to stay in our bubble. Okay. And part of staying in your bubble is being able to have things on your walls that remind you of the things to be grateful for, that give you a chance to smile, that kind of give you hope or faith, or increase your trust, or remind you of your goals, whatever it is. Buying a few home decor items from time to time and placing them in certain places where you are to cheer up your various spaces can go a long ways towards you actually feeling better and being well, because you're getting those happy hormones going. Encourage yourself at least once a day. Instead of beating up on yourself all the time and talking about what it is you're not doing, you want to affirm yourself. A couple of months ago, I did a special in my group about affirming yourself. In fact, if you want to go to my website, you can download some affirmations that affirm yourself. You just go to wellnesswoman40.com and look to your right, and you'll see the affirmations. Just you have to fill in your email address. That's all it costs, is an email address, and you download, and it will download some various affirmations that affirm you and who you are as a midlife woman, because I think the majority of the women that listen to this broadcast are close to 40 or over 40. So encourage yourself. That's very important. Sometimes we, depend on the encouragement of others, but sometimes they don't always say what we need to hear. Sometimes they think they're encouraging us and it's done just the opposite. So learn to encourage yourself. Okay. Here's another one that's huge. And this would go back to another reason why you might want to wake up early in the morning is journal. You want to get your thoughts out. You want to get your negative thoughts out. You want to get your positive thoughts out. You want to write about what you're grateful for. You want to write down what your goals, hopes, and dreams are, what intention you have for the day, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be real long. It can be 3 or 4 sentences, but just the idea of writing out some of your feelings, getting them out on paper instead of stuffing them back in, especially those feelings that have you stressed, or angry or frustrated or anxious, write it down what those feelings are and why you feel that way. And you'll be surprised how much better you feel and how much more in control you feel. Those feelings of anger and unforgiveness and anxiety and depression, all those are out of control feelings. You begin to feel out of control when you're feeling like that all the time. But when you write it down and get it out on paper, then they don't seem so big anymore. And sometimes they don't seem insurmountable. Many times it's just what's going on in our monkey mind, the negative self-messaging that we tell ourselves all the time. But rather than keep it inside, get it out. Those thoughts and feelings that I mentioned, they're toxic. And over time, they can make you sick. So get them out on paper, get them out of your system if at all possible. The next tip I have, the next vibe tip for healthy living, stretch down here. This sounds silly, but it's very, very important. Brush your teeth twice a day, not just in the morning, but at another time during the day as well. That's just good hygiene. But as we age, our dental health is even more important than it is when we were younger. Make sure you get to your annual dental checkup, but also brush your teeth. And here's a little tip on the side. It's a great preventative measure and helps with tooth decay if you do pulling. And pulling is nothing but coconut oil that you put in your mouth that you swish back and forth. You can do it in the mornings. I do it in the mornings as I'm getting ready. I do it for about 15, 20 minutes. I'll be, taking my hair down, taking a shower, putting on my coffee, doing all this stuff. And I have the coconut oil in my mouth and I'm swishing it back and forth. And then I spit it out. You don't swallow it because what happens is it gets a lot of bacteria and stuff that might have accumulated over the night. And it's also great if you happen to have a toothache or something too. It can help get rid of some of that bacteria that's causing that ache. And go ahead with your regular regime of brushing your teeth and mouthwash, whatever else. But that swishing with the coconut oil is a great natural antibiotic. What number am I on? I've lost.
We're on 7. Brush your teeth twice a day.
7. Okay, great. This sounds really crazy, but it does work a lot. Playing games. We as women have a tendency not to play games. And just this past Christmas, as we were cleaning out stuff for 2020, my husband and I gathered all the games we had in various places, mostly in closets that we don't play, and put them all in our game room and workout room. And we try to play a game with each other at least once or twice in the course of a week. And then if friends come over and pull out one of the games, we didn't realize we had so many games. We have at least 15 different games that, we would get for the kids and they bring them over to play and then they leave them or whatever. My children happen to be adult game players. So when they come over, we play games as well. But playing games stimulates your mind. It can be fun. It takes you out of yourself in terms of things that you're thinking about over and over again. And as you age, stimulating your mind is so huge, is so important. Here's another vibrant tip.
Let me ask you this, Lynniss. Game playing. A lot of us play games on our computer, on our phones, but that's not really interacting with people.
No.
Are you saying that this is a form of social interaction?
Yes. Social interaction. Yes. Okay. Yes. And also some of those games, they do improve certain parts of your body, of your brain. Yeah. But when you're playing board games, you have a tendency to be thinking on your feet more. You have a little bit more with strategy. You're talking. You're using a lot of your senses. When you're doing those computer games, it's definitely encouraging you to be sedentary. After a while, some of it becomes by rote and doesn't always require memory. Depends on what kind of game you're playing. They have their place, but they shouldn't be the only game that you play. And the only issue I have with those different computer games, phone games, and everything else is that you find yourself, an hour later, you're still sitting. Sometimes with the certain kinds of games, you find people getting up, oh man, that kind of thing, and you're laughing and you're exercising. You're definitely burning more calories interacting with someone else as you're playing a game than if you're like this.
Yes. And, okay, so I just wanted to point that out because a lot of us are play some word games or different simulating games, but that's not the point. The point is to have connection, social connection, with
Yes.
real people, not because even on these games, they realize that there's an element missing and they start to team you up with people. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
That's
not the
exactly right.
same.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Well, here's another tip to vibe in 2020 is
Hmm.
to grow plants everywhere. Plants create oxygen, they add beauty, it puts you in contact with nature, it takes you out of
Hmm.
yourself. Especially if you don't have a pet, you have something else to care for besides yourself. It's a wonderful way to stay well and to address the needs of the mind, the spirit, and the body, especially if the everywhere is outside. Gardening is
Uh-huh.
an excellent way to get exercise. You're stretching, you're bending, you're using different positions to reach over if you have a garden or whatever, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment and self-worth as you begin to see your plants grow. I have an herb garden outside, and we are going to be growing vegetables this year. So I had this little planter, didn't have anything in it. I mean, it's like this size. And so we put a
Hmm.
little spinach plant, spinach seeds in there. And I can't tell you what a pleasure it gave me to go outside and clip my little spinach and put it in my omelet. Is this a little spinach plant? I clicked up my little spinach, and I went and I picked my rosemary and my basil, and I threw it
Uh-huh.
into my salad or into my omelet, and it was delicious. So it gives you a lot of sense of accomplishment. And also, again, it's so much more healthier. You know what you put into growing your plants if your plants happen to be food. You know what fertilizer you use and everything else, whereas when you buy it at the store, you don't know. So I would encourage you to grow plants everywhere, inside and outside. And if you're going outside, take the opportunity to start some kind of an herb garden or a small vegetable garden. You'll be surprised how quickly they'll grow and how much better you will feel. And I think we're at our last one, aren't we?
Yes. This will be number 10.
Okay. This sounds really crazy. And I have so many more, but I thought this was so good to share with you. And that is, if you happen to be a person that uses tablecloths in your kitchen or in your dining room or whatever, change them regularly.
Okay.
Tablecloths, believe it or not, are a great breeding ground of all kinds of bacteria. As a result, people putting their hands on there, crumbs that just kind of break down into different kinds of interesting fungus, or not fungus, or a mold and things like that you can't even see. So change it regularly. Maybe regularly might be once a week, just like you want to change your bedspreads at least once a week. Make sure you're aware of, change your towels every other day. Be aware of those things that maybe sometimes you just leave up there. Oh, I'll do it later. No, do it now, because many of the things I mentioned, the bedclothes, the tablecloths, the towels, could be breeding grounds for bacteria that could help you to be unhealthy. So
Mm.
those are my 10
Oh my
vibe
goodness.
tips. Yes, I have a whole lot more. And I invite you to go to my blog. You can get to my blog through going to my website at wellnesswoman40.com and take a look at my blog. And there's all kinds of information on how to be well and how to vibe in 2020.
Lynniss, we just are really always excited when you come because we know we're going to get some common sense ways to be healthier and gain new information. Because all of these things that you mentioned today are so doable.
They're all doable. Oh, I
And
had
the
a
key,
bonus tip.
okay.
Well, it's important that you take little mini vacations throughout the year. Take a
I
break,
love it.
go somewhere for a weekend, go somewhere else for a day. My husband and I do that all the time. Or you can take a much larger vacation and come with me to Costa Rica. It's in March, but I still have openings, and I'm offering a great deal for anyone who wants to come to Costa Rica with us. We've got 6 ladies, and my goal was to have 10, and we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. We are going to be horseback riding. We're going to go hiking on the falls. We're going to have an aromatherapy session. We're going to have spa days. We're going to go beach combing. We're going to go shopping. We're going to be doing yoga every day, meditation, swimming we're going to go, whale washing. The whales will be in, so we're going to go whale watching. I mean, it's going to be absolutely awesome. So any of you
Wow.
who are listening to this, if you're interested in a fantastic trip to Costa Rica with women of like minds, please message me. My name is Lynniss Woods-Mullins on Facebook, and we'll set up a time for you to talk with me about this fantastic trip, because I'm believing, because this is what my coach has told me, that you keep believing in the goals that you have set until the very, very end. So I'm still believing that there's 4 women out there who are ready to vibe with me, be vibrant. I want to say victorious, but be vibrant and victorious, and beautiful and emerged. Raise your vibrations and come to Costa Rica in March.
Wow. I love it. I love the idea of taking mini vacations.
Yes.
And I'm looking up here because there was another comment, and I just wanted to make sure we got it in. Oh, this one from Lakeisha. Yes, nothing gets the blood flowing like a little competitiveness.
What was the guy said about competitiveness? What was that?
When we were talking about games. Yes. Yeah.
Serious, man. When you're playing cards and people are slam that down, some poor little card, card table, and everything. Yeah,
that reminds me of college. Yeah. There was a lot of card playing when I went to school.
Yeah, when I was in college too. Yeah. In fact, they would get mad at me when I tried to play cards because I was always reneging. They're like, Lynniss,
you'll learn.
Play cards. And they're right. I could not play cards. I was not good at it.
There's a lot of double deck.
I tried cool, because that was a cool thing, man. You go over there, you show up at the student union, play some cards when you're in college.
Exactly, cards and dances. And this one says, thank you. It was great information from Jerry.
Oh, you're welcome,
Jerry. This was your bonus tip to take the mini vacations. I love that. And guys, if you're interested in that Costa Rica trip, make sure that you contact Lynniss. We're going to put her information up here because Jerry said that sounds great, the trip to Costa Rica. And then Lakeisha says her favorite tip is this chicks.
This chick's my favorite tip. Oh, that's wonderful, Lakeisha.
Thank you, Lakeisha. We really enjoyed this. We look forward to hearing more from you. We want to remind everybody that on January 20th, there is the Women Like Me conference coming up, and Lynniss will be there. She's going to be on the panel. So if you want to meet her,
I'll have a booth. I'll be talking about Costa Rica, vibe living, and wellness women. Come see me at the booth.
So you can meet her in person if you'd like to. Come on by the event. You can see it scrolling across the screen there. That's where you go to sign up. And we look forward to seeing more of you and seeing more of Lynniss. We want to thank you, and we want to give a shout out to Robin, because she always has such great
guests. Robin, I missed you today.
And we wish you well, Robin. We know you're on assignment, and we declare success for your assignment today. So with that, we want to remind everybody, is there anything else you want to say before I close?
No, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It's always nice, especially starting the new year with the Biz Chicks. Thank you.
We love you, Lynniss, and we look forward to seeing you. Okay, on the 20th in person. Guys, come join us. With that, we just want to say it's Thursday. Be healthy. Form healthy habits. Lynniss has given us at least 10 or 11 that we can do. And we say to you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.